Okay, well, if you are looking to pull up the perfect prank on this April Fool's Day, we have got you covered with a little help from our friends over at Nickelodeon's hit show, Big Nate.
Hey guys, Nate Wright here. Part of being awesome is keeping the fans happy. Now what do my fans like most? Pranks.
One of the lab rats must have gotten into my growth serum. Hey! Get away
Game respects game.
Yes, it does. And here to help you avoid a sticky situation today, CEO of Pranks himself, actor Ben Giroux, plays Nate Wright. Ben, good to see you. How are you?
Hey, good to see you. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. My son loves this show. Fans are loving what you do, man. And we understand you had a standing room only panel at this year's San Diego Comic-Con. So it caters to, obviously, people of all ages. It is great stuff. So congratulations, first of all. But for those who haven't seen it yet, tell them what Big Nate is all about.
Well, Big Nate is based off of Lincoln Purse's long-running comic strip and series of books. It's been going on since the 90s. Lincoln is a prolific author and cartoonist, and Nate is a prankster. I mean, he's mischievous, he's cunning. Sometimes he gets himself into a little too much trouble, but he always sort of realizes his errors at the end of the day. Probably one of my favorite pranks that we've done on the show is Nate's actually, in one episode, he concocts this very strange mustache that he wears around to pretend that he's an older 7th grader so he can go to the older kids' parties. And we actually my writing partner and I wrote a song on that episode that we were really happy about giant mustaches.
The mustache is the way to go, that's for sure. He's kind of like a modern-day Eddie Haskell for those, the older generation that are watching right now. What are some tips for viewers at home thinking about pulling off a prank, especially on a day like today when everybody's waking up saying to themselves, okay, what can I do to pull one over on either a friend or parent?
Oh yeah, this is Nate's Super Bowl basically. So I would say, look, have fun with it, but you know, make sure your pranks don't get too icky. I would say the world's a kind of in an icky place right now, so keep it all sort of jovial and fun. As a voice actor, I love doing sort of prank phone calls. During the pandemic, I would sort of go through drive-thrus and
do cartoon voices for the baristas as I would order through the Starbucks drive-thru.
So yeah, I would say keep it light.
That's a good point. Can I ask you, when did you first know that you had this gift to be able to do this with your voice and whatnot?
That's a great question. You know, I used to terrorize my little sister growing up in Phoenix, Arizona with incredibly weird,
strange voices. I would try to scare her from across the house.
So I would do a lot of very strange voices, and now it's pretty insane that I actually get to make a living out of doing those voices. So from a young age, for sure, probably around Big Nate's age, to be honest with you.
It's actually really pretty cool that you're able to make a living doing this. I mean, it's a great gift for people that are saying, hey, I would love to do that. Any advice you would give people, or is it one of those things either can or you can't?
No, absolutely. You know, animation can be taught. I actually coach voiceover one-on-one all over the world with people remotely, so it definitely can be taught. And, you know, really, animation and voiceover is a way to just stay being a big kid forever.
That's awesome. Ben, thanks so much. We really appreciate it. Best of luck to you and continued success. Big Nate is awesome.
Thanks
really
so
awesome.
much. Thanks for having me.
Happy April Fool's Day as well. I'm sure you're going to pull your share of pranks out there today.